Alright, this is take 3 on my review of Rise of Skywalker. So I'm going to try to keep this brief. My last few tries have been 20 to 30 minutes. I expect this one to be around, 15 to 20 minutes, so please try and bear with me. So, the beginning of this movie is actually really strange. I'm not really going to get into detail just in case you guys want to watch the movie. And yes, this will have spoilers, major spoilers, but I'm not going to go into every single detail because then this video would be like an hour long. But basically, the first hour of this movie is terrible. Has really bad pacing. I was confused for like half the movie as to what was going on. Yeah, it was weird. It was strange, and I can't really put into words on how confusing it was. But in the first 10 minutes of the film, we get a lot of questions answered. So yes, indeed, Palpatine is alive and he is back. They explain who Snoke is. Snoke is just a clone that was controlled by Palpatine. They explain where Palpatine has been this entire time. He's been on this Sith planet called Exegol. And but the thing is that they never really answer how he survived the Death Star. They never explain how he got to Exegol. They never explain how he acquired such a large Star Destroyer fleet with planet-killing capabilities. Yeah, so there's a lot. There's a lot that they didn't really explain. They also explain who Rey's parents are. So Rey is a Palpatine. It is confirmed, whether we like it or not, she is a Palpatine, which would explain why she is so strong. But it still isn't an excuse to, have her literally no training, but be able to do a lot of advanced techniques with the Force, or really do any techniques with the Force at all, because she basically has no training. And they explain Rey's backstory. So Rey's father, Palpatine's son, sold her to slavers to keep her safe away from Palpatine because Palpatine wanted to kill them both. And a Jedi hunter actually ends up finding Palpatine's son and kills him. So they never find Rey. And then what else? Later on in the film, we get another display of her power. They basically try to pull a Star Killer, and if you guys don't know what I mean by Star Killer is the protagonist of one of the Force Unleashed games, and in one of the games, he pulls down a Star Destroyer from space, and crashes it down onto this freaking city. But it isn't to that scale, not nearly to that scale, which is good. But basically, she tries to pull down the troop carrier, and she basically almost does. But then Kylo shows up and begins to toy with her. And what I like about this film is that they made Kylo much stronger than Rey, which is good because Kylo has been training for much longer, than Rey. So he's toying with her, and then Force lightning comes out of her fingertips. And remember, by this point, they didn't reveal who she was. They didn't reveal that she was a Palpatine yet. There were subtle hints, but by that point, I was like, yeah, she's a Palpatine. She used Force lightning. Palpatine's back, and there was a lot of stuff. That was so they move on. She feels guilt, and she's starting to embrace the dark side. And then Kylo starts to, feel guilty about murdering his father. And then he starts to embrace the light. Then, the film goes on. They introduce a couple useless characters. And turns out Hux is a spy for the rebellion. They kill off Hux basically the instant that we find that out. What else? After that, so the Death Star scene where they're all, at the ruins of the Death Star where Kylo and Rey are fighting. Kylo finds another Sith waypoint, which is literally the crux, or literally the main, way they make this plot work. She finds another one, and then Kylo shows up, destroys it, and then they get into this huge saber fight, which isn't really that good. It was kind of anticlimactic, but basically, Leia gets in contact with Kylo through the Force. She dies, and then Kylo gets stabbed by his own saber, by Rey. Rey stabs him, and then she's like, "Oh crap! I'm sorry. Let me heal you real quick." Oh yeah, she can heal, by the way. She heals him, and then she leaves and takes his TIE fighter to the planet where Luke, exiled himself. So she exiles herself. She destroys the ship, burns it, and then is about to throws the lightsaber in to this fire that was made by the TIE fighter. Oh yeah, also they retconned a lot of what happened in the Last Jedi, such as the saber breaking. So anyway, back to the point. She throws it into the fire, but then Force Ghost Luke catches it, and he's like, this is a Jedi's weapon and it deserves more respect. And what I like about that scene and that particular line, it's just like, F you, Ryan, this isn't how you're supposed to treat a Jedi's weapon, and this is not how you treat Luke. So, they have a talk. They reveal that Leia was actually a Jedi. She had formal Jedi training. And yeah, they reveal her lightsaber, and Rey gets her lightsaber after her talk with Luke. They redeemed Luke's character from the last film, which is amazing. I like it. JJ really treated Luke correctly in this film, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, they do that, and then they continue on. Luke lifts up his X-wing from the ocean, and Rey goes off to Exegol. Then by that point, she gets confronted by Palpatine. He wants her to kill her. He wants her to kill him. Doesn't happen. Kylo shows up. Apparently the Knights of Ren somehow went from this one planet to another planet to Exegol, just somehow, some way. They never explain. And then a lot of stuff happens. The rebels show up. They fight the Star Destroyers. They almost lose, and another huge rebel fleet shows up. They start fighting, and then the coolest part of the film starts. Palpatine steals and drains the life force from these two, Kylo and Rey, and then grows stronger. He rejuvenates himself, basically, and sends this huge column of lightning into the air and disables a lot of the rebel fleet. Kylo tries to get up to fight him, and then, Palpatine lifts him up and throws him to this, chasm in the middle of the ground or whatever. And then, Rey turns around on her back, looks up at the sky to see the column, and she's like, be with me, be with me, be with me. Asking for help asking for help from the, deceased Jedi. And then you start hearing the voices of Luke and Anakin, and Hayden Christensen, and you hear the voices of Obi-Wan Kenobi, you hear the voices of Ahsoka Tano. You hear so many voices. I can't even remember who all was there. I'll put the list. I think Qui-Gon was there too, which is amazing, but I'll put the list if I can find it on screen for you guys to read. If I can't find it, I'm sorry. But yeah, so she gets talked to by all these deceased Jedi, and she gathers the strength to fight back against Palpatine. But his death was kind of disappointing. She pulls a Mace Windu. Oh yeah, you hear Mace Windu as well. I forgot about that. You hear Mace Windu. But she pulls a Mace Windu, and she kills Palpatine by reflecting the lightning back to him. And he dies. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Yeah. So that was extremely disappointing. And he dies, and then Rey dies. Yep, Rey dies at the end of the film, and then somehow Kylo comes out of this chasm and pulls himself up, and by that point he redeemed himself as a character. He is now one with the light, and he now receives light powers, force light powers, light force powers, whatever, light side powers, whatever, and gains the capability of force healing. So basically he gives his life force to her, the remaining life force that he has to her, and she revives him. He revives her. No, he revives her, and Reylo is confirmed for 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, like 10 seconds, and then he dies. So then his body then becomes one with the Force, and Leia's body also becomes one with the Force, and yeah, so everybody's celebrating, and then big announcement: Wookiee Our favorite Wookiee warrior Chewbacca finally gets his medal that he rightfully deserved at the Yavin ceremony. If you don't understand, go watch the Return of the Jedi and watch the Yavin ceremony, because Chewbacca did not get his freaking medal, but he finally got it. And I was really happy. So let's talk about the end of the film, and then we'll talk about parts that I really liked about the film. The end of the film. So she goes back to Tatooine, back to Luke's old home, and buries the lightsabers of Anakin slash Luke, and Leia's lightsaber, and she buries them to the sand, and then boom, reveals that her staff basically was a lightsaber the entire time. People say it's orange. It looked yellow to me, so I'm just gonna say it's yellow. And and then that's the end. But this old lady shows up and she's like, "Oh, there hasn't been anybody here in a while. Who are you?" She's like, "Rey who?" And Luke and Leia show up beside her, and they're like, just like smiling at her. And then she's like, I'm Rey Skywalker." That part pissed me off so much. That part made me so mad. No, Rey, you are not a Skywalker. You are a Palpatine. But whatever, let them do what they want. And yeah, so Rey is a Palpatine, and then they end the film off with her looking off into the binary suns of Tatooine, just the same way Luke's adventure started all those years ago. And we hear the same song and everything, and it was awesome. It was a very nostalgic moment that I really liked, and we'll start that off with what I liked about the film. There was a lot of moments that I really liked. I'll talk about the most memorable that I can think of at the top of my head. But end the film off the way that A New Hope basically started. Looking off into the binary suns with the song playing in the background, and yeah, so that's how they ended off the film. That was one of the main things that I really liked about the film, and it really struck home to me, because A New Hope was the first Star Wars film that I watched, as was, a lot of people, the OGs, the OG fans, And yeah, that really struck my heart, because it's like, damn, this is the end. This is the end. And yeah, it was really nostalgic, and I really liked it, and I liked that part. It was a really cool part. But another part that I really liked was all the Jedi talking to her, because my friends and I, we were nerding out about it, and we were like, oh my god, who's in it? So at the end of the film, we were like looking through the credits. We stayed for the credits, and we were looking at every single name. I can't remember all of them because they kind of just skimmed by really quickly, but I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. All the Jedi that became one with the Force are talking to her, making her stronger, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed that, and it was awesome. Palpatine's strength, just like his Force lightning, it was amazing. it was hands down the best part of the film. It was awesome. And yeah, just seeing his raw strength on film is new. Like, we've never seen his raw strength at that scale in like ever. And the only time we ever really saw his strength, on film was in the original films, the original trilogy, and in the prequels in episode 3. So yeah, it was like, holy crap, this is insane. So I also really enjoyed like all of the nostalgic lines that they gave, like the reveal of Lando. That wasn't a nostalgic line, but the way they revealed Lando, it was awesome. I really liked it. At the opening of the film, Palpatine delivers the line when he meets Kylo. He delivers the line, with the Darth Plagueis the Wise meme, where it's like, the dark side leads to powers that are... I can't remember the exact line, but it's like, the dark side is a pathway to many abilities many consider unnatural. And he says that at the beginning of the film. It was awesome. I loved it. I nerded out so much. Chewbacca getting his medal was awesome. I really glad that they finally gave him his medal, because he deserved it. And then yeah, so those are really a lot of the parts that I really enjoyed. I liked Kylo's redemption, like how he struggled, and they actually gave him character this time instead of being a whiny brat. Yeah, so I really like this film, and I really recommend you watch it if you want to go watch it. So if you want to go watch it, please go watch it. It's an awesome film. It's not the best film, not nearly the best. It's kind of bad when it comes to like storytelling and stuff, but it's a good film. If you don't mind the pacing. So I'll give you my review now. So out of 5 categories, the 5 being storytelling, design, which covers character design and set design, VFX, personal opinion, my personal opinion, and the impact of the film. Okay, let me catch my breath. Storytelling, I give it a 0. It was really bad. The pacing was terrible. It was too quick. It just kind of throws oddballs at you. This film does not require you to have seen The Last Jedi, which is great, because I doubt a lot of people would watch it. But it doesn't require you to watch it. And but if you want to get a lot of the references, like the OG fan references and the prequel fan references, you're gonna have to have watched the prequels and the original trilogy if you want to get the references. But if you don't really care about that, then you can just dive into this movie and you'll basically understand a lot of what happened. But yeah, storytelling, I give it a 0. It was bad. Design, for characters, I give it a 0. I don't like the character design. They literally just changed a few details with the character design. A lot of the characters not a lot of the characters. A few of the characters looked unique, but it just they could have been more effort. They could have more effort. The set design though was amazing. I really like the set design, how the different planets feel and how they look, and just kind of stuff like that. And the set design for the throne room on Exegol was amazing. I loved it. It was awesome. And yeah, so I give that a 1. I give that a 1 out of 1. Oh, no, never mind. No, I don't give it a 1 out of 1. I give it a 0.5 out of 1. So out of the 2 categories that are in design, which count as 1, it will be 0.5 out of 1. The VFX was amazing, even though there were some parts that could have needed a little bit more work, and there was some parts that were clearly green screen. I give it a 1. I really like the VFX. It's exactly what you would expect from a massive Star Wars film. The impact, I give it a 1. It was awesome. It was a good film. Definitely the best out of the 3 new ones, and yeah, I really liked it. It was a lot of good fan service, and just stuff like that. So I give it a 1. And my personal opinion, I know my friend Tim is going to be terribly mad at me for this because we are on the hate wagon, the hate train of Disney films that pertain to Star Wars. And yeah, I give it a 1. Sorry, Tim, to disappoint you, but yeah. So out of a score of 5, I gave it a 3.5. So yeah, if you guys want to go watch it, definitely recommend it. But yeah, that wraps up my review. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, share this, and hopefully a subscription from you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.